Hi guys, I'm back again in a new episode of Soulfully Smart. Today's episode is going to be about navigating overthinking. I know it's a long awaited thing that all of us want a solution to, and it can get kind of difficult if we don't know how to deal with it. As somebody who is an overthinker myself, nothing to be ashamed of, most people I know these days are. Um, it's just basically a collateral or just a result of us having so much information that we actually take in every day. So, and so many opinions and so many thoughts and so many rights and wrongs that we take in. Like, these days, like, they'd be like 5 tips to overcome so and so, and this is how successful people behave, and this is what a high value man or a high value woman is supposed to be like, and God knows what all. So we kind of judge ourselves against so many of these parameters, which we are not supposed to necessarily uh, do, because it just makes things a little harder for us. So basically, whenever you watch something that says this is how you should become something else, it also kind of implies that I'm not good as I am, which is an unfortunate thing to believe. So on that note, six tips on how to get over overthinking. No, I'm just joking, but honestly, yeah, I mean, how else are you supposed to tackle this, right? So, yeah, without further ado, and making ironic jokes at myself and my attempt at doing this, which I already find pretty ridiculous, I'm going to get to the points of how you can navigate overthinking, right? So, the first point is observe and don't analyze. Um, so, what we do, people who usually overthink are also people who are empaths. So, people who are empathetic usually like to analyze their own thoughts and other people's thoughts, like, oh, that's quite a good thing to think, or a bad thing to think, and that was a good thing to believe, or a bad thing to believe, or whatever, right? Or a good thing to feel, or a bad thing to feel. So, what I have realized is that we feel what we feel, and we think in what we think. We think what we think, and we just have to observe what we think or observe what we believe without actually having like a judgment on said thought or belief or feeling, right? We just kind of let it pass through us, and we're just like, that's interesting. So, especially if it's a difficult thought or a difficult belief, like, for example, I don't like how that person treated me, or so you observe that you feel angered right now by how a person treated you, and you let that information move you in whatever way that it must, or just for you to process it, like, oh, okay, that person treated me a certain way and now I'm angry. I see. Okay. And just kind of move, right? Or just observe how that person has treated you. Be like, okay, so that person yelled at me in front of 5 other people. Okay, interesting. All right. Without naming it something or labeling it something. Um, it's not even right to do the emotional labor where you're kind of like, oh, maybe that person hasn't been raised correctly, and that's why that person doesn't even know how to speak to a person in front of 5 people. Maybe they didn't mean it or something like that. No, even if that person hasn't learned how to deal with said with a certain circumstance in a very good way, that does not mean that you have to put yourself through the hurt of being insulted time and again in front of people, right? Neither should you be allowed to, snap at somebody who yells at you in front of 5 people, because then how are you better than them, right? So what helps in these situations is that you just kind of be like, okay, that's interesting, just process it, and be like, okay, so now this person yelled at me in front of 5 people, I am angry now. Okay, I own this and I own that, that's fine. This person did this and I feel this. Just own the space between whatever situation you have been dealt with, and don't analyze it, just let it go. And so that the next time you're not really reacting to something because you suppressed your emotion the first time, and then now because you held and you held and you held, the next time he yells at you in front of 5 other people or 10 other people again because you kept quiet the first time, um, they'll do it more the next time and more the next time. um, you basically take ownership for how you feel. So maybe the next time you interact with them and when you're alone, you'll be like, hey, you spoke to me like that in front of those people in that way. I didn't really appreciate that and I needed to let you know about that. And if that person actually has your good interests in mind, they will actually want to change. This is you putting their responsibility of change on them, and your responsibility to own your feelings on you without actually taking the responsibility for their feelings and suppressing yours or expressing your feelings inappropriately by reacting. And yeah, so basically, this is just one thing that I think really helps. And even if you don't have to respond or react or even say anything, I have believed that even just being in the moment and first just learning how to feel your feelings without analyzing them, but just letting them kind of like course through you and be like, okay, that's interesting, like as though you're watching a movie, is very helpful. It helps you process things a little bit better. Just be with it, and if you think that a thought is bad, like for example, oh, I'm jealous of this person because they won first prize, you just sit with yourself. And if you think that, oh, that's such a sad, horrible thing to think, that's a shitty thing to think, why would you think that, you just sit with yourself with, oh, I'm feeling jealous because that person won first prize. Treat yourself like a parent or like a friend or like a lover who just loves you for who you are and just hugs you even when you're imperfect. So when you say that you're not happy with such and such feeling, you just sit with yourself and you be like, that's okay. You got jealous, you're human. So what? It's fine. Okay? And you kind of just be with yourself. Don't abandon yourself or say that that's crappy or that's horrible. Don't analyze yourself. So don't analyze other people. Neither do you analyze yourself. Just observe and be like, that's interesting. Okay, cool. And move on. Right? So that's point number one. Point number two. So you people get positive thoughts and negative thoughts. Like for example, especially when it comes to doing things. So for example, I had the positive thought came, mental health is something that irritates a lot of people these days. Maybe I should make videos about it because I'm somebody who deals with the same things, and maybe I'll have tools that help me that could help another person, right? And then I will have a negative thought, like for example, oh, who's going to, why would people want to listen to you? It's not like you are an extremely successful billionaire with so many so many credentials to your name that people will believe you or whatever. So yeah, people have positive and negative thoughts. Or for example, you have a positive thought, okay, oh, I'm going to go running in the morning. Or you open your eyes and you're just like, last night I told myself that I want to go for a jog this morning. And the negative thought comes by, is like, I want to sleep for like 10 minutes more. Or you get up and you're like, my back hurts. Or like, oh, let's order a McDonald's burger right now. So these are some examples of positive and negative thoughts, right? So the crux over here is to do the positive thing now, okay, and to do it immediately when you get the thought. So don't delay the negative thing. So in Hindi, there's a phrase that says "नेक काम में देरी नहीं करते." So it's literally like that. So the moment you have a good thought, you should do it right then. Don't delay it. And the negative thought is basically like, the negative thought, you just have to be like, okay, I hear you, I see you, but delay it. Be like, okay, I want to order from Swiggy right now. I feel like eating McDonald's. Fine. Let's see what I feel like 15 minutes later. And more often than not, you will probably not feel like having McDonald's 15 minutes later. And if you do feel like it, if you can, and if you have it in you, delay it again. Like, so how there is, so it's delayed gratification, right? So even if you have McDonald's maybe an hour after you first felt like it, it's still delayed gratification. Whereas, like, and you'll get more of a steady satisfaction from it than something that will just give rise to another craving in its place. Because what I have noticed about negative cravings is that the moment you satisfy the craving right when you have it, you probably have another one coming right after that. It brings you back to the same point. It's like you had a feeling and a negative craving, you satisfy it, and then you come back right here again, right? And you want it again. So especially when it comes to addictions and stuff like that, this really, really helps. Delaying is the first way that you learn how to get over a weakness or an addiction, actually. So yeah, this is point number 2, which is do the positive thing now and delay the negative thing, right? But this also works when it comes to like yelling at somebody or fighting with somebody, because sometimes you misunderstand a situation and then you get a certain understanding of it, and then you can, like, have more information before you lash out at somebody. So yeah. Then the third one is trust the positive statement and doubt the negative statement. So using the previous example again, I believe that I have something of value to share to the world, right? That is a positive statement. Whereas a negative statement is to like, why would anybody believe me, or why would anybody want to listen to me? So usually it's just human tendency to believe the negative thought more than you would believe a positive statement. Like, for example, if somebody tells you that you're very beautiful, or that they really like you, or that you're awesome, you just be like, oh, they're just saying this because they want to be nice, or because they want something from me, or because of whatever reason. Whereas if somebody says that your opinion is terrible and you have no brains or whatever, you tend to like believe them. You be like, oh no, maybe maybe I'm not that smart, or maybe this person does not respect me, or whatever, right? You believe the negative statement. If somebody says they hate you, you'd believe them. If somebody says they love you, you'd doubt them, right? So the thing is to flip this in your mind, at least to believe the positive things a little bit more than you would believe the negative things. Doubt the negative emotion. So if you yourself think, hey, no, nobody wants to listen to me, you doubt yourself. You'd be like, why do you think that? Why would you believe that nobody wants to listen to you? Don't you have nice things to say? Do you have to be a billionaire to say things to people? Do you have to be an exceedingly credentialed human being to have anything of value to add to anybody's life? And to answer that, no, you don't. So you basically become a doubter of somebody, of a person, of yourself, when you have negative thoughts. Whereas you become your biggest cheerleader when you have a positive thought. Okay, oh, okay, so you want to make a video? Let's do it. Okay, let's bring out a pen and a paper. Right? Let's write down some points that really, really helped you out and what will help others. Let's do this right now, and go step by step. Back yourself when it comes to the positive statements and doubt yourself when it comes to the negative statements. We tend to do the opposite. So that is something that really helped me, and I hope it helps you too. So the fourth point is something that really, really helped me in my life. So when people want to leave in your life, let them. Make no mistake, try to have a conversation with them before you let them leave. Try to talk to them and be like, okay, let's figure things out. Let's talk about what's bothering you, or what's bothering me, and how we could try and fix this. But if they don't want to have that conversation, or if they want to just move on, or if they don't take that in the best way, let them leave. Like, everybody is here for a season, Not everybody is here for a season, and nor would I even talk about people being replaceable, because nobody on this planet is replaceable. Okay, so it's not like, oh, a person will go and another will come in their place, and boys will come and go, or friends will come and go, or whatever. No, people are absolutely integral to making you who they did, and you should thank them for it, for the amount of time that they did spend with you, and for how they contributed to you. But when they want to leave, or when it's time for them to leave, you have to have the maturity to let them. Don't blame yourself for the fact that they want to leave. It's nothing to do with you. It's probably just timing, or just what works for them and for you. Sometimes it's, you just have to choose peace over everything else. And this, because this is about mental health, this is something that gave me intense peace. So yeah, when people want to leave, let them. And and wish them well, and also don't ever blame yourself when that does happen. Okay. um, then an adjoining point to this is the fifth one. So in a disagreement, whenever you do disagree with somebody, or whenever you do have a fight or anything of that sort, um, don't leave that situation, don't leave that person or something like that. What is very natural for us human beings to do is to leave that situation, leave that person. Maybe in that time, yes, you can leave. Okay, like in the sense, if something is escalating too much, if things are brinking on being violent, yeah, definitely leave that situation, use your discernment in such situations. But yeah, if you just had like a disagreement with somebody or a tiff with somebody which is not that serious, then don't leave that situation, don't leave them at that point in time. Just coexist with them as peacefully as possible and as naturally as possible. In the sense, you don't have to prove anything to them, like, oh, I disagreed with them, so I will be extra nice and extra accommodating just to prove that I'm a very nice person who is very accommodating and stuff like that. Neither should you be like, I'm going to show this person who's boss right now, and I'm going to um, put the AC temperature on 24 because I said so, not on 26, 24. That is the right temperature or whatever. Don't leave that situation, and don't get into proving, whether you want to prove who's boss, or whether you want to prove who's nice. Don't get into proving, just be natural. Like, you don't like this person right now because you just had a disagreement, you don't need to plaster a smile on your face. Just be normal, but just coexist as peacefully as possible. Go about with your day with the same grace as you can provide to yourself and to the other, as peacefully as you can, by honoring your feelings and theirs. Just coexist, don't leave the space, and slowly but surely things will get back to normal. Maybe after things cool down, maybe you all can talk about it. But if the disagreement was really stupid, or really based on a misunderstanding, after the situation passes by, let it go and it will diffuse by itself. You don't even need to talk about it. This is another thing that I learned, is that talking about it isn't necessarily always better. Sometimes you just need to let things go. It's gone, it's fine. Like, you're like a river and you're just going ahead, right? It just happened, and that's fine. And don't bring things up from the past. If that has happened, I know it's very difficult. Some things still hurt you, and you didn't bring it up in the past, and you're bringing it up right now. So that tends to happen sometimes, but try and veer away from that. It'll only complicate matters. So yeah, um, don't leave the situation, um, and just let things be, natural, and whatever needs to happen will, and accept whatever happens with grace, you know. um, then um, the last point, and a very very important point, is um, to reach out, especially if you're feeling suicidal. There are a lot of suicides that are happening these days. If you're feeling suicidal, if you don't feel too good or whatever, whoever it is, even if it is me on this video right now, I'm openly saying reach out. Like, just reach out to whoever, like, that you can, and just talk to them. And it doesn't even need to be about your problem. You don't need to talk about your problems, about your personal life to everybody. But just reach out to somebody, just to get you out of that headspace. Just reach out, because everything, no matter how terrible, uh, it will pass. Okay, and even if it doesn't pass, even if it stays, fluctuations in emotions will keep happening. It's okay. Nothing is constant. So just reach out and talk to whoever it is. Okay. And the second thing is, reach out to somebody who you think is not doing okay. If you see somebody who is uncharacteristically down, or is acting off or weird, you can totally reach out, even if you don't know them that well. You don't know how much of a difference you might be making to this person's life by just showing that you care. And honestly, even if you are down and if you reach out to somebody, then you are actually strengthening yourself too by being strong for that person, right? So actually being there for somebody also helps you feel a little bit better. And trust me, this always works. But one thing to keep in mind is, when you are reaching out to somebody, when you are being there for somebody like I suggested, then it is very important to remind yourself not to get involved in their problems. In the sense, you be strong for them, you be with them, you give them you lend them your ears, but you don't get involved in their problems unless they ask for advice. If you really are in the position to give advice, that's different. But other than that, be there for them without getting too involved. Okay, because you can only pull somebody out of a pit when you are out of it. Okay, if you are in the pit with them, you cannot pull them out of a pit. In fact, you are getting deeper in it with them, right? So yeah, just reach out if you don't feel too good, and reach out to a person if they look like they don't feel too good. If somebody looks sad, just be like, hey, what's up? You want to talk about something? Or just be like, hey, what's up? Like, to anybody who looks sad, and the world will be a nicer place if we all just take a little bit of responsibility for each other. So yeah, these are the few points that help me navigate my mental stuff, and especially overthinking. So yeah. Oh, and finally, I want to end on a quote by another guru of mine besides Sri Ravi Shankar, who I've taken a lot of these points from. Another person who's really helped me is RuPaul. RuPaul Charles from RuPaul's Drag Race, who says that what people think of you ain't your damn business. So, yeah, pretty simple, right? So, but it also goes the other way. Like, what people do, what people want to do in their lives, ain't your business either. So, hey, hope this helped. Bye bye now.